Hi guys, and thanks for tuning into my video. Today I want to do a quick review of the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. There's tons of videos on YouTube all over the place on guns. This is going to be basically for kind of in-depth on the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. And this is going to be for somebody that's, possibly thinking of buying one or has one and, want some ideas of the features and things you can get from it. So first of all, let's start with the Smith & Wesson 500. Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum is an X-frame revolver. X-frame revolver means it's the biggest frames that they make on their revolvers. Now, we're not going to go into the performance center guns, but we're just going to stick with the revolvers. The Smith & Wesson revolvers are some of the most reliable revolvers made. Very high quality. They've been around for years. The original Dirty Harry 44 Magnum, model 29, everybody remembers that one. Make my day. Did I fire one shot? Or 6 shots, right? But anyway, the 500 Magnum was produced to make a very high power gun. A lot of times people use them in the outback, the high country, for sidearms, for bears and stuff like that if they get attacked. So that's mainly why that gun was actually produced. The 500 Magnum is the most powerful revolver commercially available, okay? Now notice I say commercially available. That means you go out the store and buy one or order one. It's not something that's custom like a Nitro 700 or Nitro 600 Express or whatever, or any kind of giant 7,000 Magnum guns or something like that, or 40 grand. So this particular 500 Magnum is a commercial for the regular masses. Now they make a few versions of the 500, the performance center ones. They make a 5-inch gun. I think I forgot, it's somebody Ross, I think it's a custom one. Then they make the 8-inch barrel. Now the first ones they made did not have, as you see on this, the muzzle brake. Okay, a muzzle brake is something that allows you to reduce muzzle flip. And muzzle flip is the tendency when you fire for the barrel to go up, for your hand to go up. Well, it has ports on the top that push the gases down like a rocket, right? And it pushes it down. It gives you, lets you stay on target. Helps with the recoil very little because you do have ports on the side here. But at the same time, since you have this added portion of the compensator, that's about 1 inch you lose on your barrel. So normally 4-inch, like this is the 4-inch Model 500 Smith & Wesson, it's a 3-inch barrel. The 8-inch is a 7-inch barrel. It might be a little over, the 8 might be a 8 3/8 inch or something like that. Because you really, when you're measuring, you measure it from the cylinder, where this forcing cone meets the cylinder, back to here. This inch does not give you any velocity. It's strictly to expel gases in the gun to help with controllability. So let's go ahead and start our review, and since you have that little background, there's a lot more in depth, but let's go ahead and start on the gun. First of all, let's show you the gun is empty. And this is a standard revolver. You have a cylinder release, and it's a 5-shot. Okay. Like I say, when I was talking about measurements, you're measuring from here, which is the forcing cone, to right about here. The easiest way, you could take a wooden dowel and, well, this just be a little harder, but you could take a wooden dowel if this was solid barrel here and stick it down there, and when it stopped there you could mark it, and then that's how you would measure your barrel. But here you can't really do that. You'd have to remove this. But I measured it from here to here, it's 3 inches. From here to here, it's 4 inches. It's not a 4-inch barrel because this does not do anything for velocity. Okay, it doesn't help you. They do also have a 460, which is a higher velocity bullet. Okay. And I think it has a 5-inch barrel, which is really a 4-inch barrel. It comes standard in it because you need that extra inch for the velocity, but it's not the most powerful gun. This is the most powerful Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum, okay? Commercially available. But I think that's it. I don't think they make anything higher than a 500 Smith & Wesson. The 500 Smith & Wesson, all basically is a stainless steel, solid stainless steel gun. Everything's made out of machined out of stainless steel. This has just been polished, so it's nice if you have a stainless steel gun. You can highly polish them. This is the post lock, which means it has a lock here. You get a little key, which you can turn this key and lock it so that you can, for storage, you can disengage the hammer. However, I removed the lock on all of mine because if you look down in there, I'll point to it. There is an area right here. You can see that cutout area. That's where the lock end. That's like a locking plate with a spring. I took that out. Okay, the revolver, of course, is double action. Okay. Double action or single action. Okay. Every time you pull it, it rotates it and lines up the other chamber with the bullet. And then when you shoot it, you'll see the little firing pin in there. If you can see that, see the little pin in there? It pops back out of the way, hits the primer, and fires the gun. Okay, the Smith & Wesson, this 500 comes with a rear white outline, adjustable for windage and elevation, rear sight, and a red ramp, which is pretty common in a lot of their guns, just about all of them. But this has been polished. This would have been black, but it's been polished. A red ramp insert light. And then it gives you this kind of sight picture when you're looking at it. I'll see if you get the red there. So it's not really bad. It has a serrated hammer, so good for gripping. And you have a shrouded cylinder rod area here. Basically, you just push that in to eject your shells. So let's say, let's just put one shell in there and you had that in. You would go like that and it ejects your empties. There is, if you remove this, there is tapped areas for a scope ring if you want to put one on it, or a scope. And I'll show you if you look underneath there. You see those three. Okay, so that's buried underneath there. All you'd have to do is take this one off, because this is for the adjust, slide it off, and you can put a scope on there. Normally, this is matted out here, but I polished this. This would be like a matte for glare, but I would prefer to have it to glare. I like the way the gun looks. These front sights are pinned in. There's two little pins. You can pound these in and lift this out with a punch. You can put fiber optics in them. They don't come with fiber optics because of the recoil on this. You can see it's ported here. Okay, and this screw here is how you take them out. Let me just show you. And you'd say, well, why would you want to take it out? Well, the reason is because if you're using leaded or jacketed bullets, you have to change the compensator. Reason being, because if you use this leaded in here, as this is coming out, the way this compensator is, it can shave up on top and you can get splinters of lead. You can use the jacketed because that's not going to really affect it. But if you're going to use leaded and jacketed, you can put this big one in there. But this one is only for jacketed. So if you're going to be shooting both, you'd want to put this longer one in. And this is about a ½ inch longer if you look. See? And I will go ahead and show you how to change this. You get an Allen wrench, and you'd put that in there. Okay, and you're going to bring this out. So really, when you bring it out, you're turning it clockwise, actually counterclockwise. I'm sorry, clockwise. And this kind of brings it out. So you can loosen this up like this. You turn it. And you can see how this one's a little different. It's got those ports there that would go up. You would just take this, and this only has them on the sides there. It doesn't have them on the top. You, of course, would put that and tighten it down. Okay, let's get back out. Just back in. And we want to keep, I like keeping them on top. So, line it up. A little push. Pretty much come off. It goes on there because they're made not to. You don't want to take it off. You want it to be tight. So it's made pretty good so it doesn't fly off. And you can see, if you look in there, you'll see, just like if I put this through here, it'll go right through. Okay. It'll go through there. Okay, but that is a compensator. Pretty much this is your cylinder release, and over here is your plate, which would, if you took this off, you'd see the action of your gun. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how you take the grips off. These grips actually are square butt, but you can put square or round butt grips on this. There's an adapter in here. So all you have to do is you tip it upside down like this. Get any kind of screwdriver. I should be using a bigger one, but it's not going to hurt this. And then you just like that. And then when you take these off, I'll give you a little closer. You'll see there's an adapter here. This adapter makes your round butt to a square butt. And that's why you can use, I believe you can use a K and an L grips on this. But the nice thing about these have this flexible rubber here, which this doesn't fit up close to that because there's a little space in there, and it gives you that extra rubber grip. Where wood ones, I've heard wood grips have split on 500s. I don't know. It just, some people do tell me that they had that. This is your mainspring. There's a screw here, you can adjust it. Now putting it back together here, you just push that in, kind of wiggle it a little, lay the gun down, just tighten your screw down. And it's pretty simple. Now getting back to like bullets that you can get for the gun, there's a wide arrangement. I just have some wild bullets here. I have the regular Hornady 500 Magnum, and then I have a 440 grain and a 700 grain bullet. Okay, they're pretty wild bullets. Tell me about it. Look at that bullet. And I have not shot the 440 or the 700. I'm kind of afraid to shoot that, so I probably won't. I've shot the the 500s and stuff like that. But it's really a joy to shoot. You can buy for these guns a lot of different ammunition. You can buy the 300 Smith & Wesson 500 low recoil plated bullets by Hunting Shack. And those shoot great. And on this gun, there's very little recoil. I don't believe in using full Magnum runs, on any gun, maybe once in a while, because it's just punishing to your hand. The gun can handle it. It's just punishing. And like I say, back to there, what I said with that, you could see it's got a rubber type. See how that is in there? Now, when I go back to the muzzle flip, I'm going to show you here. Having these ports here and here. Okay, see those ports on that? I'll give you a close-up. I got a little polish in them, so don't mind me. Having that in there is basically when you take the gun and you shoot it. This is recoil. It goes back this way. Muzzle flip, the gun goes up this way. So if you have your bullseye, you shoot, it goes up. That's why a lot of times, you have to shoot low, and then when it goes up. But what happens with any kind of compensated gun, it doesn't matter if this or if you get your gun Magnum ported or quadra ported or whatever you get, these ports in here, as the bullet goes through here, the gas escapes, okay, and as the gun tries to go up, it gets pushed down, so it keeps you on target. And that's the main reason you have the ports on that gun. But I wanted to show you that so you can understand that. But this is the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum, and ranges on these guns range anywhere from I would say 8 to 1,000, 8 to 1,100 used, depending on what you're getting with it. Brand new 1150 to 1250 up in there. Make sure if you do buy a used one, you get this with it, the extra compensator. If you don't, you're going to have to order it from Smith, and it's going to take you 6 months to get one. I just want to let you know that. This is, the Allen wrench it comes with. You don't even have to have these here. I removed my locks, but you want to have everything with it. But I wanted to show you that, and thanks for watching my video. Have a great day, and I hope it was educational.